Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and yes, today we are finally ranking all of the Marvel and DC films that came out in 2025. I originally was meaning to get this out closer to the end of the summer, you know, because of Fantastic Four being the last one, but then that didn't happen, so you're getting it closer to the end of the year, which I mean makes sense, right? Because it's end of the year list, so whatever, yeah. Anyway. Now, before we dive into my personal ranking, I thought it could be fun this year to try something a little different and look at how it is ranked based off of box office and even based off of Rotten Tomatoes score, and then also what my ranking at the beginning of the year was for these films by excitement to see how it lines up. So let's start with the box office. It ranked by box office of how much they made. I'm gonna just give like an estimate, by the way. I'm not gonna give you the exact, well, I might put the exact number on screen, but I'm not gonna say the exact number. In last place is Thunderbolts, which made around $382 million. Number 3 is Captain America Brave New World, which made around $415 million. Number 2 is Fantastic Four, which made around $506 million. And number 1, that took the king of the comic book box office, was Superman at $611 million. Now, if we go over to Rotten Tomatoes critic scores, specifically, not audience scores, if we're going off of the critic scores on Rotten Tomatoes, in last place is Brave New World at a 46%. And number 3 is Superman at a 83%. Number 2 is Fantastic Four at 87%. And at number 1 is Thunderbolts asterisk at 88%. So yeah, that's very interesting. I just thought it was fun to look over those. The fact that Thunderbolts made so little money is insane, and it's your guys' fault for not seeing it. I saw the movie 3 times. I am not at fault here. I blame you. Okay, maybe not all of you. Some of you probably did see it, maybe multiple times. But you know who you are, who didn't go see this in theaters. How dare you? Shame on you. I'm just kidding. Maybe. But anywho, this was my ranking. In case you didn't check out that video, just quickly of my excitement level off of them. I had Brave New World in last place, and then I had at 3 Fantastic Four, and then at 2 Thunderbolts, and then at 1 Superman. So let's see if that added up or not. So here we go. In last place, I have Captain America Brave New World. Yeah, this is easily the worst of the year. This movie, to me, was very disappointing. Now, I feel there's a lot of missed opportunity here too, because there is some good in the film. First of all, I do really like Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson. He's really enjoyable. I even like the new Falcon and Joaquin Torres. I really like his character. But aside from that, I just feel like they didn't do anything more. The trailers looked awesome because it looked like we were going to get this awesome political thriller like Winter Soldier. It didn't feel like that. In fact, it was more so boring than anything. There was a lot of moments that I was just like, I kind of just want to like fast forward. I couldn't, because I haven't even given this one a rewatch at home yet, only in theaters. But I was like, I kind of just want to fast forward because I'm just like, I'm kind of bored for some of this stuff. Now there's some stuff in here, like there's some really cool action scenes in here. The fight that takes place at the Sentinel, that was really cool. And I like the fight between Sam and oh man, what's his name? Sidewinder. I like that fight. But aside from those two things, oh, and even the finale wasn't too bad between him and Red Hulk. But it's just like, I mean, it's cool to see Red Hulk in live action on the big screen for the first time. But overall, I just was disappointed. I was bored throughout a good portion of it, and I wanted more. I don't know if I'm ever gonna rewatch this one, to be honest with you. There isn't even much to set up anything in this one either. I mean, yeah, Sam does kind of mention we have to start the Avengers, but you could just watch Thunderbolts for something like that. And even the end credit scene is kind of like just like generic end credit scene, being like leader who like shouldn't know anything. It's just like something is coming. It's just like, okay. How do you know? How do you know? Speaking of the leader, he is such a disappointing villain in this. I feel like he had so much potential to be like such a cool villain, to always be like 10 steps ahead of the heroes, and he was just he was just boring, and he didn't feel like he was as smart as he should have been. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of Captain America Brave New World, which is kind of disappointing because I really wanted to. However, as we get to these top 3 here, I think all 3 of these are good, great, or amazing, or all the above. Because next up at number 3, I have Fantastic Four First Steps. I feel like this is one that might be kind of controversial because I see most people have this at their 1 or 2, and I have at 3. Like I said, I really enjoyed this film. It is such a fun time. I think all 4 of our Fantastic Four are great. I also really love this casting that they did. I think everybody does a great job as their roles. Even like Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, who I was like, really? I'm not so sure about him as Mr. Fantastic. He was great as Mr. Fantastic. Galactus looks awesome in his best scene on the big screen. And it's, again, really cool to finally get a good version of Galactus in a movie, not a cloud. I can't express how much I love that. And Silver Surfer was really cool also. I think they did her great in this film. And I love the family aspect of it too, how this really is a movie about family, where family is at the core. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing. What'd you think I was gonna say? But yeah, no, I don't think it's perfect. First of all, I feel like the movie does have a couple moments that drag, not many, but there's just a couple moments where I'm just like, I kind of want to speed this up here a bit, kind of want to keep going. Great action scenes, by the way. There's a thing in the third act that I wasn't a fan of personally, where in the third act, slight spoilers, when Invisible Woman is trying to like push Galactus through a portal, to me that feels kind of underwhelming, because like they had this whole elaborate plan that had the world working together that way they could teleport their Earth away from Galactus, but their plan fails. So how they defeat Galactus is Invisible Woman uses her force field to push Galactus through the portal. I can't help but wonder. To me, that felt so underwhelming. Like, it felt like we were building up to this thing that takes a lot of work, and then that took everybody working together, and then we just did something that literally that could have been the plan the whole time, is just set up a thing in New York, and have Invisible Woman plan to push him through. I don't know. To me, it felt kind of underwhelming. And also, I just would, when it comes to which one of the top 3 I would rewatch, this one I would rewatch. There's less of a chance of me rewatching this one than the 2 above this one, so that also plays into why it is number 3. But still, overall, I think this movie is fantastic.
Say that again.
You didn't think I wasn't gonna sneak that in there, did you? I'm talking about Fantastic Four. I had to. Anyway, next up at number 2, I have Superman. Again, another one that I feel like is always 1 or 2, so some people are probably like, why is this one not number 1? I loved this movie. I love this new world, DC world, that we have dove into with James Gunn's DC universe. It is cool that unlike like Iron Man of the MCU, where we're establishing things, everything is already established, which can probably be jarring for some people. For me personally, as a diehard DC fan, it was not too jarring. I already had somewhat of an idea of who these characters were. I kind of knew what to expect from a world, because I've been in comic book worlds for a while, and I just loved it. I love this version of Superman. We finally have a version of Superman that is probably the closest to my favorite version. Well, maybe my favorite version of Superman, who is like lighthearted, happy, tries to save everyone, sees the best in everyone. I love the lengths that they went to with having him try his best to protect all the citizens of Metropolis, even when like facing off with a huge giant monster that could cause a whole bunch of destruction, which also kind of felt like, I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but kind of felt like a nod to those who complained about that in Man of Steel, even though I actually really liked all the mayhem and destruction in Man of Steel. But I do love how this Superman goes out of his way to make sure that no one gets hurt. He even saves, I feel like something that people are like, really, why? Where he even saves a squirrel from being stepped on by this monster. I loved it. I thought it was awesome that this Superman cares about all life, and it's great. I love this version of Superman. The cast is just amazing here. David Corenswet as Superman, Rachel Brosnahan, hopefully I said her name right, as Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor was great. He was another one of those castings I was like, I'm not sure. I'm having a hard time seeing Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Nah, he is great as Lex Luthor. I love him as Lex Luthor. and just so great character dynamics between Superman and Lois, between Jimmy and Eve Tessmacher, who are also two great characters. I loved Superman. There's some great visuals in it as well. It is definitely very comic booky, so I can see why general audiences might not like this film, because it is a very comic booky type thing. Like, we're introducing things like pocket dimensions, which to some people are probably like, what? For me, it's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because I've been in these kind of worlds for years now. But for like general audiences, I could see them be like, what? And there's also a bunch of other things, like, you know, we got kaijus, we got aliens, we got metahumans, we got pocket universes, but we got like there's like some really comic booky stuff in here. But I love this film, but I do prefer the one above it. Like I said, I think this movie is super.
Say that again?
Sorry, I had to throw it in again. But yeah, I still prefer a movie more than this one. The one that I feel like not many people have at their number one, but it should be, because at number one, I have Thunderbolts. Asterisk. Or, aka, it's been long enough, I can say it now, The New Avengers. I love this movie. I think it's the best comic book movie of the year. So, you know, I'll give it that title. My number one comic book movie of 2025 is Thunderbolts. I love this movie. I just think I obviously I love the comic book genre, but also I just love how this one is a bit different from what we've seen, because first of all, I'm a sucker for the stories that it's trying to do here. I love stories about a group of people who hate each other but become a family by the end, and we get that with these characters who in the beginning of the film are literally trying to kill each other. But they come together, they start working together, and they even become a family with an emotional, sweet way of them coming together in the third act. And then we also have a story about redemption. Again, I'm also a sucker for stories about bad people redeeming themselves and becoming good people, and that's what we have here, because everybody on this team has either been a villain or has done bad things. Everybody on this team has killed people, even good people. But they're redeem themselves and they become heroes. And just this group of characters too. I love all of the characters even before going into this film. Love Bucky, love Yelena, love Red Guardian, love Ghost, even though not many people did. I did. Love John Walker. I loved every character on this team before the film, and I love them even more after the film. And even newcomer Bob, love him, he's also the best. And I also like how it is a very different film, because it's not just an external battle, but it's also an internal one, where we do get great emotional moments between like Yelena and Red Guardian about like, I'm so alone and I've done bad things, and Red Guardian's like, you're not alone, and it's not your and you could be better, and I don't see you for your mistakes. It is amazing stuff, man. I love Thunderbolts so much. It is great. And it is also, even though it does have some very hard-hitting emotions, but it's still very funny throughout the film. I was laughing a bunch of times throughout this movie. And I also think it is very well paced, too. I didn't feel it drag, nor did it feel rushed. I think this movie is great. So to me, it is easily number one comic book movie of the year. Now, this list is very similar to what I was expecting when it comes to my excitement level with Thunderbolt Superman being switched. But I literally, in that video, if you go back and watch it, I had Thunderbolts over Superman for the longest time until that Superman trailer dropped, and then it pushed Superman over. So this kind of makes sense. If I would have made that video before the Superman trailer, it would have been, or maybe a little while after Superman trailer, it would have been Thunderbolts number one. Still, because, again, I'm just a sucker for these kind of movies. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking time to watch this video. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. Hit notification bell so you know when I post it, go live. Thank you for watching. And tell me how you would rank the 2025 Marvel DC comic book movies. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye.